and recognized, therefore, by the federal government. The courses that the National Open University delivers are courses that have been accredited by the National Universities Commission, like any other university. And therefore, any course that we deliver, because I wear two hats, that of the center as well as the National Open University, in this case, when I'm delivering the issue about the National Open University, I only wear the one hat of the National Open University. So I may refer to myself as we being part of the setup. So, because we are just about 15 years old, relative to other universities, the number of courses we deliver may not be as many and as varied, because developing a university to a mature level takes time, especially if your focus is excellence. If you want to deliver quality courses, you have to focus on truly developing courses according to needs anyway, but courses that will stand any test, academic test, as well as, of course, industrial and vocational test. The National Open University has got, so far, about 1,500 courses that it delivers, and 8 faculties. We have the Faculty of Agriculture, under which courses are delivered. We have the Faculty of Arts, the Faculty of Law, the Faculty of Health Sciences, the Faculty of Education, the Faculty of Sciences, and the Faculty of Social Sciences. Under this, we have about 1,500 courses. All these courses are accredited by the National Universities Commission. We also require the same number of credits to join the university. 5 credits, including English and Maths, and 3 relevant credits that would be associated or relevant to the course one wants to do. And there is no compromise on that. You just have to have the 5 credits and nothing less. Our courses as well are as accredited, I say, as National Universities Commission, but also enriched by the material that we produce for each course. And this material are specifically produced by experts in the relevant field. And these experts produce it specifically for the course. So it's unlike textbooks that are general. And therefore, the nature of our material is such that it is specific to the point. Similarly, our exams is the same sort of exams you said, how it is set, how it is marked, how it is supervised, and so on, is as rigorous as any university. And therefore, when you go through our courses, you sit you study, you sit the exams, and you pass, and you get a certificate. It's just like getting a certificate from any conventional university. The law clearly stated that. In fact, the law that set up the university was reviewed and revised in December last year because of some challenges and some speculations and some negative perception of people about National Open University. And that law actually puts the university at par with any conventional university in the country. And it will therefore illegal for any person to even contemplate not respecting the certificate that one gets from the National Open University, because otherwise it will be breaking the law. Now you can see that, therefore, from all these different criteria and different setups, the National Open University is like any other university in terms of the academic rigorous nature of the setup, as well as the legal framework within which it operates and the backing of the law. However, there are quite a number of things that are different. But before I get to that point, I would like to say one or two things about why talking about National Open University now. The National Open University has been established, as I said, about 15 years ago. As at the last sittings of our exams, which was last semester in April, May, about 6 months ago, we received a report from the VC, the Vice Chancellor, at that is the Governing Council's meeting. And this report gave us a breakdown of the spread of students nationwide. Why do I say nationwide? It's because the National Open University is the only truly national university. It is not a university based at one location or the other. It's a university that is spread across the nation. We have centers in every single state of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. In total, we have 81 centers, study centers across the nation. And we have the mandate, that is the legal mandate, to establish a center in each local government of the 774 local governments of the country. And we are therefore still counting. We are still getting there. We're just about 10% done. In fact, probably less, because here in the FCT, we have the highest concentration of study centers. We have 11 study centers here in Abuja, which means, therefore, access to our courses are much easier in Abuja than probably anywhere else because of the number of study centers we've got. So when we receive the national spread of the students that sat the exams as the last semester, it was reported that over 500,000 students actually registered as students of the National Open University, out of which about 106,000 actually sat the exams. That means about 106,000 actually studied through the session and sat exams. And that's what we refer to as active students, because the nature of our study is such that there could be a student that are not active, unlike the conventional universities. When we received this report, the spread indicated that out of the 106,000 that sat the exams, only 10,000 comes from the combined northeast and northwest zones of the country, which is less than 10%. The 13 states comprising of the northeast and the northwest zones only could produce 10,000 out of the 106,000. And when we received this report, as a member of the council, I raised an eyebrow and I raised an alarm, saying we cannot continue this way. We cannot allow this to continue. How is it that a university meant for the nation, meant for everybody without discrimination, to be only accessed by 10,000, less than 10% out of from the 2 zones out of the 6 zones of the Federation? And therefore, raising that alarm makes it imperative that we set up a committee. And that committee, a council committee, was set up with me being the chairman of the committee, to go around these zones and to identify the issues. And we did go around. We were set up in June, but by September, we have gone around the 13 states, and we visited each and every single study center, and we met more than 60 different stakeholders groups in order to establish why. Such that we take steps to actually address the issue. And that's why the committee was set up, which I chair, and we went round. And we therefore came back with our findings and our recommendations. I'll go to the findings and the recommendations shortly. But what is important is coming back to the issue of truly what is National Open University. Why is it that our people in the North, generally, in the far North, are not patronizing this university? This is a university, like any other university, as I said. As probably some of you will recall, the former president of the country, Chief Shegun Obasanjo, was our graduate. He studied through the postgraduate diploma, master's, and PhD, and graduated from the National Open University, and is very, very proud of it, nationally as well as internationally, to indicate to you how the university is rated, how it is seen as, and the quality of the university. And recently, of course, on our trip, some of our emirs, some of our top-ranking officers of the military and paramilitary forces were either students or graduates of the university. And I believe even here, in this masjid, we have students who are the university students or graduates of the university, or people who at least know about the university before this lecture. But what is important is we should share our good news. This is a university that I'm now talking about the differences between our university and the conventional university. This is a university that does not require JAM to join. You don't go through JAM. It's waived. You don't need that. All you need is the 5 credits, including English and maths. It is also the university that is not part of ASU, so we don't go on strike. We operate 24/7, 365 days of the year. We are not involved with strike. This is a university that, as I said, is qualitative. The quality of the course material is fantastic. I will explain that shortly. It is also flexible, because the main difference is we don't deliver the conventional lecture that normally is associated with universities. That is, students don't go to classes and sit before a lecturer to be taught one subject or the other. It is self-taught. You teach yourself. Now, this is new, of course, especially around this part of the world. There aren't many open universities anyway, internationally. However, it's still new here. But being put in that kind of model of instruction, that is, it is students-driven, student-centered, but also technology-driven. The way of the world now, these two things, student-centered, student-driven, and technology-driven, is the way of the new learning system internationally. In fact, when you get to master's level, PhD level, you hardly go to classes to sit down and receive a lecture, even in conventional university. In ours, therefore, it's not any different. And as such, students join this university with the 5 credits that, as I said earlier, there is no compromise. You have to have 5 credits to join, and these credits must be relevant to the course you're doing. Math and English compulsory, the 3 ones being relevant to the study area you are going to study. All you need to do is either visit our website, of which I'm going to give it to you later, and as you know these days, when you go to our website, you check the website, you have the buttons, you click and click and click, and when you finish clicking, you submit what you click. That is, you put in your details, you complete a form, you identify the course you want to do, you identify your qualification, and so on and so on and so on, and you click and you submit, and then you print your own admission letter. So you don't need to know anybody. You don't need anybody to hold your hands to introduce you to the lecturers or the registrar or the vice chancellor or anything. However, this is the beginning. Once you print your admission letter, you go to our study center with your 5 credits, the original copies of your particulars, credentials. You submit to the director or the counselor there. They review your documents, they authenticate it, and they make sure you are who you are, and these are your credentials. And then the course you have chosen will be explained to you, and you understand, you raise issues, and so on and so on. And then you finalize your admission by, of course, commencing payment of fees and whatnot, and you get all your course materials right away. So you have your course materials to go away and study at your own time. And let me tell you about this course material that I mentioned earlier. As I said, these are course materials that are actually written by experts in the particular fields. And these are worldwide experts, not just experts in Nigeria. Because Open University, as open as it is, means it's all over the world. And we are members of the African, as well as the international body of the Open Universities. And we have to meet certain standards in order to deliver our courses, both African and international standards. And therefore, when you get these course materials, which are full and complete and written by experts, these are the materials that actually a lot of conventional universities use it for their instructions. And you can check with our students, you can check with some of the universities. Some of them come to us and request formally to use our material, while some don't come and request. Of course, as you know, sometimes you find those odd ones out. But they believe our course materials are superior to the normal conventional course materials that other universities use. So they use ours. And therefore, when you get your course materials, these same course materials are also on our website, which you can access online. You can also download. And you know, when you download, then you can review them subsequently without having to have data or to have internet access, and therefore it's available. This is one way by which we deliver our mode of teaching. The second way, as I said, is online. The first way is the course material, the practical course materials that we give. And the second one is the one online, which is the same course materials online that you can access and you can download. And the third one is facilitation, face-to-face facilitation. We don't call it teaching because it's not really teaching, it's facilitating. You are the one who is teaching yourself. And you will find out that because of the richness of the material, the study material, because of the interactive nature of the material, because of the simple approach of dealing with units and subjects in the course material, because of the friendly nature of the course material, you find it quite easy to understand. So you don't really need somebody to stand before you and lecture you. However, there are times you find certain areas not quite clear, and that's where the facilitation comes in. Facilitation can be face-to-face, but more often is by phone or online. By phone is you have a telephone number that is accessible to you 24/7 throughout the year, that you can ring the facilitator for that facilitator to explain to you the issues. And that same facilitation also happens online. That is, you can write your issues or your questions and send it out, and it comes back to you with an answer. Or sometimes the facilitator can actually talk to you online. As you know, these days, you can even speak on the WhatsApp online while you're looking at each other. So we organize a facilitation that could be online. Sometimes in a group of students, the same issue or the same subject matter, the facilitator will come up and explain. Or you write and the response. Or sometimes, and especially before an exam, we have face-to-face facilitation. You go to our study centers, you also, a number of groups of students come together, and the facilitator comes around and facilitates the issues. That is, you raise issues and it's discussed, it's explained, and so on and so on. Now, this method of teaching, therefore, makes it different from the conventional university. So it gives it at least two fundamental differences that cannot be met by the conventional university. Flexibility. You do it as and when it suits you. So you study as you go. So whatever it is you're doing, if you're working in an office, you are a military officer, you are a farmer, you are a businessman, you are a woman market, or a housewife, or whatever it is that you do that occupies you, that actually prevents you from going to conventional universities where you will be confined to focusing on only that for years before you graduate, it will not interfere with that while you study. And because of the 24 hours we have in a day, if you use your time judiciously, you can attend to the course as well as focus on what you do as a job, if it is the job you do, and still qualify as a graduate. And of course, we offer first degree, second degree, postgraduate diploma, and PhD. Now, this flexibility, therefore, makes it very convenient for all sorts of circumstances. And especially here in the North, if you look at our girls, a lot of states we found, once a girl finishes her secondary school, she goes into marriage. No matter how bright she is, no matter how many credits she has got, a lot of this happens. Now, without interfering with that culture, arguably, some people say it's not quite a good culture or whatever the case, but irrespective of your view, that girl that goes into marriage could still continue her studies within the National Open University. Secondly, our boys that sometimes attempt JAM once, twice, 3 times without success, while they are brilliant, they have the credits, they can join National Open University without the JAM, without any hindrance. So therefore, we have this flexibility. And then the accessibility. As I said earlier, we have 81 study centers across the nation. With that 81 study centers across the nation, it means you can move around anywhere in the nation and still have access to our university. And especially the military and the paramilitary and those other professions that are prone to transfer anytime, anywhere, and without notice sometimes, all they need to do is, wherever it is they are studying, and they move from, say, Maiduguri to Port Harcourt, they switch off from Maiduguri and they switch on at Port Harcourt and just continue as if nothing has happened. You can't do that with conventional universities. No conventional university will offer that accessibility or flexibility. And above all, we also are affordable in terms of our system of fees and payments. Affordable in the sense that I'm not saying we are cheap. We are not. You can't get good stuff with little money. We are affordable. As soon as you join the university, we open what is called e-wallet. This e-wallet, as you know what wallet is, wallet is a little bag that you keep your money. These days, you can't actually keep thousands of naira in a wallet. But however, the terms refer to some kind of bank account of some sort. It's not really bank account because you put in money that you cannot take out, because you put in money there for your studies, not for saving so that you can go and spend it on other things. No, you put it there for your studies. So we open an e-wallet for you. You save as little as 200 naira, 500 naira, 1,000 naira, 2,000 as you go along. And you accumulate your money, and you use that money to pay your fees, be it tuition fees, exam fees, or any other fees. And because of the flexibility as well, you are not constrained to start and finish a course within a confined time period. If we say basic first degree program takes you 4 years, in National Open University, because of its flexibility, you can extend it beyond 4 years. Remember, we don't go on strike, so it's not a question of strike. You extend it beyond 4 years because you start and stop. When you are studying and something else comes up in life that is challenging to you, say a woman got pregnant to the extent that she cannot continue her studies, she stops it. She goes and delivers and nurses the baby to a point where she feels she is back. She comes and picks the study where she left it, not from the beginning, where she left it. The same thing with you as a man. When you have a health challenge, financial challenge, or any other challenge, you stop your program, you go and do whatever you do, you come back, you pick it up where you left it. So it can take you more than 4 years to finish. It can take you 5 years to finish. It can take you 6 years. It can take you 7 years. In fact, we are there with you whenever you come back. So it can take you as long as you take to finish. And we don't have age discrimination. As long as you are 18 years or 80 years, you can join us. Obasanjo, I don't think he was 18 when you joined us, but he completed all the same. And there are similar people like him who have joined and completed the universities. So really, the university has got so much to offer with the flexibility, with the accessibility, with the affordability, and qualitative education. And it really very much suits our own culture, our own religion, where parents or husbands are reluctant to allow their spouses or their daughters to go and mingle with other students in a hostel in conventional universities. And for that reason, sometimes they don't allow them to study. But with National Open University, you don't need to mingle with anybody. You carry on your life as if you are not a student, and yet you obtain your qualification. And I tell you, if you look at those students that actually sat our exams last semester of 106,000, no university in the country has got as many students as that, active students. Last year, when I say last year, I'm talking about just March this year, our graduation, convocation here in Abuja, 20,000 students passed our convocation. So graduated. So we always graduate a lot of students. And these are students that really has proven to be disciplined. You cannot go through National Open University without being disciplined, period. Because it is a mode of instruction that requires you to focus, to develop discipline. So really you are getting two for the price of one. When you qualify as a graduate of Open University, not only have you got academic qualification, but you are also a disciplined person, because it forces you to discipline yourself. And once you discipline yourself and go through that and qualify, then you acquire the habit of discipline, which is a habit that is almost indispensable for you to succeed in life. So we get worried that this part of the country, we are not appreciating what we have got. I said to you that the combined Northeast and Northwest zones, 13 states, only had 10,000 students. We have one center in Lagos that had got 10,000 students. One center out of the 81 centers we've got. While here in these two zones, we have got a center with only 100 students. We are talking about 10,000 students in a center. And here we have only 100 students. So really, we are missing out. We are letting go something that actually belongs to us. And not only does it belong to us, it's as if it's designed for us. Because our nature, our culture, our religion is very compatible with studying in the Open University. You don't have to go and mingle and mix up with certain elements that you are uncomfortable with, or that could be detrimental to your daughter, to your wife, to your sister, or even to your own child. Because a lot of students pick up bad habits when they go to universities. But it gives you also the ability to work and earn. That is the motto. Work and learn. You work and you learn. And they go hand in hand. They are not incompatible. They are actually mutually inclusive. They help each other, especially if what you are studying is what you are working on. If you are an accountant in practice, you are studying and you are working, it's mutually beneficial. If you are a military man studying conflict and peace and conflict resolution, you are a military man in the field solving conflicts. You are working, you are learning. They work hand in hand. So what's the issue? Is it about being lazy? Is it about being unappreciative of the golden opportunity that you have got? Or is it ignorance? We don't know. Okay, now you know. No one here should have an excuse. You know. However, it might not be directly relevant to you in particular as you said, but I'm sure it will be relevant to probably your sister, your wife, your child, your friend, and so on. And so, the three top reasons that is delaying us from patronizing this. I've got a few minutes to complete. What is stopping us? One is ignorance. That is, people don't know about National Open University. Secondly, those who know have the negative perception about National Open University. Some people think the National Open University is not really a serious qualification. It's not something that is comparable to other qualifications and so on. What is, I've laid that to rest at the beginning, so I've explained that. But there is a perception. Once there is perception, it is difficult for you to actually, until you go through some really enlightenment to deal with that perception. But it's wrong perception. And also there is an element of poverty. Some people could not afford the fees. But then, it's ironic because the university allows you to work and learn. So you can work and earn money and then pay your fees and work and earn, and you can work and accumulate money, come and study and then stop the study, go and work, get money, come back and so on, and you take as many as. So really, that could be an excuse, but some people give it as a reason why they are not patronizing the university. And even if it is at that, amongst ourselves, we should be able to sponsor our own people or to sponsor the less privileged, especially because we can afford it. It's not too expensive. University education becomes more expensive when a student has to go and live in an accommodation, has to feed in the university, has to have all sorts of other issues to deal with being away from home or from place of work. So our prayer and appeal to all of us is, one, check yourself. Do you want to advance your education comfortably from first degree to second degree, or from second degree to PhD, or to postgraduate diploma on many fields? You can while you are working. In fact, we offer some post-retirement activities, ventures. When you retire, what do? We provide training for you to be productive, to be earning a living, as well as, of course, graduating as you go along. So we provide a lot. Now, I've said quite a few things, and I would like to simply give you information to assess us and stop here. There's a lot to say, but due to lack of time constraints, of course, due to time constraints, we won't be able to go through some of the details, but maybe through the question and answers, you'll be able to raise some issues. You can take the numbers, the telephone numbers for the university, as well as my number if you want further clarification on what so far I've said. The telephone numbers, I'll give you two telephone numbers. The first one is 0807 991 7983. I repeat, 0807 991 7983. And the second telephone number, 0706 470 1747. I repeat, 0706 470 1747. And that is the university's telephone numbers. And I give you the website you can check is www.nouonline.net. I repeat, www.nouonline.net. And my telephone number, 081 830 38850. My name is Garba Sanni. 081 830 38850. My name is Garba Sanni. I would like to stop here and give you the chance to raise any question before prayer time. We have about probably 15 minutes or so to finish for the prayer. Jazakumullahu khairan. Facilitator.
I think we are going to, how do we start? So let me start with right.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I think on behalf of all of us here, we would like to appreciate the center here for its efforts, particularly issues affecting Muslim Ummah in terms of progress of Muslims educationally and socially. We cannot say enough except to say that may Allah reward every individual that works
The question is, are the students of the university eligible for NYC? This is a very critical question because we have had some challenges with NYC for our students, especially in previous years. And we have discussed and negotiated, and as I said to you, the amended act of 2018, December, actually clarified that and it gave us, put us at par with any university. And we have negotiated with the NYC people, and their challenge was we graduated so many students at a time, 20,000 at a time, and they haven't planned for budgetary allocation for it. And this year, we actually went to the National Assembly, we discussed with the budget allocation and so on, and this year is provided in the budgetary allocation, and our students, therefore, will be going to the NYC from 2020. Thank you. Your question has been answered. Excellent. Okay.
We have someone here. Okay.
Thank you very much. Do you have federal character in your education? If your character, federal character principle, then these lapses you are talking about don't arise.
The question is, do we have a federal character reflection in our admissions? If we have, then these lapses and discrepancy will not arise. Now, we are unlike any conventional university. We don't have quota system. We don't have a ceiling. We don't have a quota. So we can take as many students as they come. We can take 1 million students if they do come. We are already, our registration this time is about 550,000 students. And because therefore there is no discrimination, there is no quota system, there is no federal reflection. When you talk about federal character reflection, you are talking about a confined space of allocation. But if you have unlimited, open admission, then you don't need character reflection. You only need individuals who are serious to come and join you. Yes. Yes. MashaAllah. Islamic studies. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. He said he's a student of the university. He has engineering background, but he has joined to study Islamic studies with the university. He's having, so they are having some challenges in terms of facilitation here in Abuja. And of course, this is one of the reasons why we actually went around the Northeast and Northwest to identify some of the challenges. It's not just about the students, it's also about the university. That is, maybe there are things we are doing wrong, or maybe there are things that we need to do in order to meet up some of the demands, and this is one of them. So our delivery is one of the issues we are addressing, and this facilitation should not be an issue. So I've given my number. Please, we can arrange to talk on the side on your particular issue. Alaikum salam. Okay. His question is about how are our students being seen in the labor market in terms of employment and probably admission. Yes, as I said earlier, there is a perception. And this perception sometimes actually conflicts with facts. The facts are our students, we can argue actually that our students are more groomed than conventional university students because our students go through discipline, self-discipline before they graduate. So not only have they got the qualification, the academic content of the courses and therefore the academic flair, but they also got discipline. However, we do face some challenges sometimes in terms of other employers. However, as I said earlier, it's illegal. Any employer that hesitates or attempt to discriminate our graduates from other graduates purely because of the university they've attended, that person is committing crime. And he can be reported and be dealt with in such a manner. But attitudes change gradually, and our university is new, and people are reluctant sometimes to accept change. But we are in our own league setting the pace and successfully doing so. Thank you. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Naam. The facilitation. Naam. Okay. Of course, as I said, the study is self-driven. That is student-driven. That means students go on their own to actually study. And we have a platform for students to interact amongst themselves as well as with facilitator. When we say facilitation, we're not talking about teaching. And what he is talking about is, as I explained, our mode of teaching. One is the study material, second is online, third is facilitation. Facilitation could be online. That is 24/7. You have a telephone number that you can ring to discuss your challenge, particularly on your course. And by so doing, you will be actually interacting, or this facilitator will be facilitating you as a student. So facilitation is about answering your questions or clarifying gray areas of your study by a facilitator. That could be face-to-face, online, or by telephone. MashaAllah. Yes. No. Yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Indeed, indeed. Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much. What he's talking about is an appeal actually such that he is hearing this for the first time, but at the same time he's saying this sort of information should not only be kept to ourselves but should be shared with others, especially in our localities, in our villages, in our households, amongst ourselves and so on and so on. Actually, that's what we did. The committee that I talked about earlier, maybe you were not here when I talked about the committee. The committee was set up by the governing council of the university, of which I am the chair of the committee. As a result of my concern that I raised, and other council members agree with me, the committee was set up and I'm chairing the committee. We went around to all these 13 states of Northeast and Northwest and to all the centers but two, in order to, and met so many different people. We met emirs, we met governors, we met the military, paramilitary, we met teachers, we met civil servants, we met school children, we met all sorts of different groups that we believe need to know this. And we did that and finished, and we just compiled, we have presented our interim report and presenting our final report shortly. But fortunately, when we presented our interim report, they were so impressed by what we did and what we found out that the committee is now made a standing committee. That is a permanent committee, which I'm chairing. So it's not just something that you do ad hoc and go away. So we will continue and we follow up. And we will all, subhanallah, I've seen a professor, a colleague. So really that's what we did. And thank you for such a reminder.
I think because of let's
Prof. Chan.
When you mentioned the email address,
Yes.
I heard you say something .net.
No, not email address, website.
Okay, website, sorry. And I know universally, all educational institutions, especially universities, worldwide, end with .edu. So part of the perception problem you are talking about can be addressed by making this join the standard way we do. The website should have been NUN something.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me. We got two websites. Okay? And the second one is www.edu education. Yeah? That's the one you're talking about, yeah? So we've got that. www.nouedu.net. Yeah? Sometimes, you see, this observation is very important. I'm not undermining it or underrating it. And it is an observation that actually could be useful, especially for people who are detail-oriented. They look at details. And this is some of the things. So thank you for reminding me, but of course we have this second website. If you don't mind me calling for the professor, because you are sealing it up as the last question. Can I have one more question, please?
all right.
Yes, Prof. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. Thank, thank, thank you very much, Prof. And I will, of course, see you afterwards. But this is quite an important observation. Yes, we do deliver other languages, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, which is coming up shortly, because we develop courses as we go along, and we develop on needs. And as a new university, we develop courses that are credible courses, accredited by the NUC. And this sort of information and interactive session actually generates a lot of information. So thank you very much, Professor.
Alhamdulillah, we've come to the end of. No. No, wait. Yeah, I think you can do that after this thing. So what I'm trying to say, this is the first part of this lecture. If time avails us, we'll continue from where we stop. Inshallah, tomorrow we're having a guest lecturer here. The role of Islam in achieving security in the world. Between Maghrib and Isha tomorrow, and it's going to be delivered by Dr. Ibrahim Ahmad between Maghrib and Isha as usual. Wato gobe in Allah ya kai mu muna da lecture nan gudunmawar musulunci wajen tabbatar da zaman lafiya tsakanin magariba da Isha wanda zai gabatar Dr. Umar Ibrahim Ahmad daga FCE Zuba insha Allah.
Mr. Dinkin nan kawai lou.edu amma kace lou.edu.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The second email address, website www.nou.edu.net. If there is any issue, I've given my telephone number, and also answering one of the observations. This is the first part of this discussion, as the moderator said. There is likely to be a second session, but we also compile some information pack, as well as opportunity for people to register their interest. But don't forget, these telephone numbers that I gave and the website would be enough to answer most of your questions and to lead you to register as well as be part of the university. In view of this general interest that we've seen, I'm sure the center will consider giving another chance for such a lecture to happen. And may Allah give us the ability to not only understand what is going on, but actually do something about it. Because it's not enough to register as a student, it is also, in fact, it is more important to actively go through the work. So you walk the talk, you just don't talk and then stop it there. Therefore, inshallah, when the second time comes, we will build on where we stop. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وأعوذ بك من فتنة المحيا والممات وما فتنة القبر وما فتنة المصير الدجال من عذاب النار وسوء المصير سبحانك ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.